The risk of space race conflicts increasing as more players enter the arena. The United Nations has 5 treaties geared at preventing such scenarios. Our correspondent Jen Copestake spoke to the director of the UN Office for Outer Space Affairs, Space Exploration, about space exploration that benefits all.
Principles of the UN Charter are fundamental to our work. Space is embedded in our daily lives in a way that most people don't understand. We cannot go from A to B without using our phones and our satellite navigation systems. We turn on the news, we watch the weather, we want to see, decide what to wear today based on the weather, we want to see what's going on around the world, and all of these things are enabled by satellite and space technologies. Given that space is so embedded into our daily lives and will increasingly be so in the future, all the more reason for us to maintain space as a peaceful province for mankind.
In 1945, 50 nations, including China, came together to lay the groundwork for the post-war international order. What lessons from that era are most relevant to us today? Back
in 1945, it was a very volatile period, and yet we were able to establish the United Nations. If we think of COPUS, the Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, that was established more than 10 years after the founding of the UN. And again, it was the beginning of the space race, as we call it. There were only 2 countries which were really going to space. They were adversaries, and yet they managed to agree on the creation of this committee. They managed to agree on the Outer Space Treaty, and so on. When the UN was formed, there was only 50 countries who were members. It has grown. And why has it grown? I think it's because we've come to realize that there are global challenges that affect all countries, and all countries should firstly have a voice, but also big challenges require multiple partners and different solutions.
What kind of programs are in place to make sure there's equitable access for countries in the developing world to access space?
We partner with space agencies from Japan, from China. The China Manned Space Agency facilitates competitions whereby teams can bid to run experiments on the Chinese space station Tiangong. We have something called SPIDER, which is space-based information for disaster and emergency response, and we have actually 3 offices, one in Beijing in China, which is supported by the Ministry of Emergency Management in China, and through this office we facilitate access to satellite imagery and satellite data, and we train users across the APAC region on how to use it.
So looking ahead 20 years to the centenary of the UN Charter in 2045, how do you ensure that space will remain open to all humanity?
It is my hope that by 2045 we will be ensuring that there is no more digital divide, we will be ensuring that there is no more data divide, and that all the communities who need access to satellite imagery and data have access to it.
Aarti Holla-Maini, Director of the UN Office for Outer Space Affairs, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.